This video I'm gonna share my views on Wesley Snipes. Somebody emailed me, asked me my opinion about three actors and whether or not I believe they're martial artists and things like that. One of them was Wesley Snipes. He brought up. Well, as far as he's concerned, I'm gonna state my opinion based on what I know, what I've seen, and my general feelings towards him. Um, as a child, you like action movies. So some of the movies that he was in, I don't even remember all the movies, but to me he's an action star. Action movie star. As far as a real martial artist, I don't put him in that category. I do not view him as a real martial artist. Now I know that he practiced martial arts. I think it's maybe Taekwondo. I think he just said that he has a black belt in Taekwondo. Now, that still does not mean that he's a martial artist to me. Because Taekwondo has their own standards and all these styles have their own standards. But my vision and my standards of what would represent a true martial artist is way beyond the standards that is established by these different systems and styles. It's something that very few people represent. But as far as he's concerned, because he's trained in Taekwondo and some type of martial arts style, when you watch his movies, you see that there's a little more technique in his skill level. There's more practice. There's more precision. It's not like somebody who's acting as if he knows how to fight when he really doesn't. He actually does know how to kick properly and punch properly and things like that. But that to me, it doesn't really mean much. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are proficient in techniques. It doesn't mean that they're at a high level in the martial arts. That's only a small aspect of it. Now, his fitness level in some of those movies, I clearly see that he does keep himself in shape, which is a big plus, right? So he does believe in, as far as those movies are concerned, he does believe in keeping himself in shape, which is a good thing, right? He's almost, to me, like at the same level around like Jean-Claude Van Damme. They're both fit. They're both pretty good at the techniques. But as far as spirituality is concerned, just like Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's not even close to being where he needs to be to represent what a true martial artist should represent, based on the information that I know. But you also see the movies that he partakes in, none of it is like truly guiding you towards wisdom. Because he doesn't have wisdom himself, so how is he going to be able to guide you towards wisdom if he doesn't have it himself? All of it is just about money, just making money, making action flicks, making entertaining you. So he's not guiding you towards wisdom. Doesn't really know much about the Eastern ways and the philosophies. Just learn the techniques and making money off the techniques. So he's kind of like just like a sport fighter, a cage fighter, or whatever, but just in a more peaceful aspect. So rather than jumping in a cage or jumping in the ring, he used those techniques to profit off of, by going into the movies, which is a lot more respectable than, to me, than a lot of the sport fighters. But as I stated, he's an extreme lack of the spirit. And as far as the techniques are concerned, I don't think he's all that great in his expression of it. His fitness, okay, he's decently fit, but I don't see him to be extraordinarily fit. So I don't see him to be somebody special. I just see him to be somebody that got a great opportunity. There's a lot of people out there that are more talented than him, but they're not stars, they're not actors, they're not in the movies because they didn't have the opportunity. But he has the opportunity, and that's what it boils down to in many cases. You look at somebody like Chuck Norris, he's not that skillful. He's not extremely handsome or anything, and he's not extremely fit, but he's in a lot of movies and he's well known, he's famous because he got the opportunity. He might have knew some people or whatever. Same thing with Wesley Snipes. he got the opportunity, and that's why he's well known. He's in a lot of movies. Another thing is he was jailed for not paying his taxes. That's another thing that doesn't really make him look too good. You know, I mean, he's already making all his money from movies, but then he can't even pay these taxes, and then he ends up going to jail. That doesn't reflect well on him either. I see that there's no spirit in him. He's lacking the spirit, so he's not too different than a sport fighter, but he's at a higher level than a sport fighter because he's not hurting people violently in a ring or in a cage. He's just making movies, which is a lot more respectable. But I don't view him to be a high level martial artist at all, not even close. That's just my view on him.